Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I'd like to say a word about tax fairness. Last week, I joined Senator Hutchison, who's been the leader on this issue, Senator Cornyn, and Senator Corker from my home state of Tennessee in introducing S-2233. Our goal with that legislation is to make the state and local sales tax deduction permanent. As a former governor, I know that states and cities have many different ways to raise revenues to support the services they provide. States provide services for usually half the funding for elementary and secondary education. They're the principal funder of community colleges and universities. They pay for a good part of the roads, all the prisons. So most states have pretty big bills to pay, and they have a variety of taxes to raise the money for that. Some states levy an income tax. Some use a sales tax. Some use a combination of the two. Some use some other taxes. In Tennessee, we've had a pretty good debate about this, and we've decided that we don't want a payroll tax, an income tax. I looked at the options myself when I was governor in the mid-1980s and considered an income tax for Tennessee, but decided it would be the wrong thing to do, to put a tax on work. So we've done pretty well with low taxes and without an income tax. Now, Americans who pay state and local income taxes are able to claim a deduction for those amounts on their federal income tax. And before 1986, taxpayers also had the ability to claim a deduction on their state and local sales taxes. But this deduction was repealed in 1986, the one for state and local sales taxes. Congress temporarily reinstituted that state and local sales tax deduction for 2004 and 5, and then extended it again for 2006 and 7. And I was a part of the effort in this chamber to do that. It was a bipartisan effort. So taxpayers today who itemize on their federal income tax returns can deduct both state and local sales taxes and state income taxes. Yet, unless Congress takes further action, this deduction, the one for sales taxes, will expire at the end of December of this year. This is not about cutting taxes. This is about tax fairness. It's not fair for states without income taxes to subsidize tax deduction for states with income taxes. Why is our business in Washington, D.C. to prefer an income tax in the various states? 9 states, like Tennessee, do not impose a state income tax. They are Alaska, Florida, New Hampshire, Nevada, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Washington, Wyoming. States from across the country, some big states, some middle-sized states, some of our smallest states. These states shouldn't be treated differently. If Congress doesn't act, they will be by the end of December 2007. So, Mr. President, I'm here today to urge this body to make permanent the deduction for state and local sales tax. At the very least, we need to temporarily extend the deduction, as we have done in the last 2 Congresses, before it expires on December 31st, so that taxpayers in those 9 states aren't forced to pay an unfair share of taxes. Mr. President, we're talking about large amounts of money. Nearly 600,000 Tennesseans itemized their taxes and claimed the state and local sales tax deduction last year. This benefit put an average of $400 in the pockets of hardworking Tennesseans. Therefore, losing this deduction would cost Tennesseans nearly $250 million right out of their pockets each year. Extending the state and local sales tax deduction is the fair thing to do, is the right thing to do, and I urge my colleagues to join Senator Hutchison, Senator Cornyn, Senator Corker, and me in enacting S-2233 before the end of the year. Thank you, Mr. President. I yield the floor.